kids with dreams and no sense of reality and survived, and we're here. Those are the kind of moments in a life that you just don't get over.
So without any further ado, enjoy the show.
Thank you.
I always get a little nervous when you have to show a film here because in many ways it's like bringing something home to the family.
Yeah, it's shot in Toronto, but you're trying to make it look like New York. I said, yeah, that's great. You know, that's not bad, because the city's like an actor.
Premiering a movie that took me 20 years to make in front of 2,000 people makes me want to cry.
I mean, there was a time that I can remember when people said, well, film will die. It hasn't and it won't, and it's great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon to celebrate the announcement of our Canadian selection for the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival. Always one of my favorite press conferences because it's all about Canadian film and us. I'm Pierce Hanley, Director and CEO of TIFF.
And I'm Cameron Bailey, the Artistic Director of the Toronto International Film Festival. It smells good in here. I don't know if that's the food or if that's all of you, but I'm happy to be here.
So this morning, we announced 72 Canadian feature films, shorts, and installations that will screen at the 40th Toronto International Film Festival. I hope you've all had the chance to see the lineup. Another outstanding year for Canadian cinema. I'm sure you'll agree. Now, this is a very special year for us. It's our 40th anniversary. And one of our founders is with us today, Hank van der Kolk. Bill Marshall could not make it, but Karen Cole, daughter of Dusty, one of the three founders, is also with us today. Now, the first TIFF did include a number of Canadian films, and since TIFF was founded 4 decades ago, we've endeavored to showcase the best of Canadian filmmaking here in Canada. The 2015 selection is absolutely no exception.
Across every genre, we'll see stories told of ordinary and extraordinary Canadian lives, in addition to being among the first to watch films from Canadian directors working on international productions. We're very proud to bring these films to Toronto, and we sincerely thank everyone here for your contribution to this year's festival, and indeed throughout the last 40 years as well. Filmmakers, industry friends, supporters, congratulations to all of you.
So today is a day of celebration. Just take a look around everyone who's here in the room. There's a lot of talent in this room. The talent is immense. Some faces are very familiar faces. We've known their work for many years and eagerly await their latest projects. Then we've got some exciting new faces too. These young talents are bringing even more unique voices to our vibrant and ever-changing industry. Our commitment to Canadian filmmaking is unwavering, and at TIFF, we continue to expand our industry training initiatives. We strive to create new ways to support the growth of our industry and community. We are a family, and we look forward to working alongside you for many more decades to come.
We'd like to acknowledge the generosity of TIFF's valued supporters and partners and express our thanks for their support. They help make all of this happen, beginning with our lead sponsor, Bell, our major sponsors, RBC, L'Oreal Paris, and Visa, our major supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto, and our major industry supporters, the Ontario Media Development Corporation and Telefilm Canada.
And of course, we must thank our donors and members for supporting TIFF's charitable mission of bringing the power of film to life 365 days a year. Also like to acknowledge Grolsch Premium Lager and Pepsi as official beverage sponsors for today's event, and our venue host, the historic Fairmont Royal York Hotel, which has graciously opened up its doors for us year after year.
Big thanks also to the City of Toronto and the thousands of film lovers who live here. They really are the beating heart of TIFF. A new component to the festival launched last year, and that was Festival Street. And we're delighted that this will return again in 2015. Festival Street is a fun, interactive, and free space which brings our festival to the people of Toronto, offering everyone the chance to participate in the festival's spirit. There'll be more details to come on what we'll be programming on the street later in the summer, but for now, let's take a look at what Festival Street brings to Toronto.
As you can see, lots of fun, and it's going to be fabulous again this year. I'd like to thank everyone involved in the planning and production of Festival Street, and our supporters, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport, and the Ontario Cultural Attractions Fund. And of course, one of our biggest supporters has been Mayor John Tory, another one, Councillor Joe Cressy, and the team at City Hall. I'm delighted that Mayor Tory has joined us today, and I'd like to welcome him to the stage to say a few words.
Well, Pierce and Cameron and ladies and gentlemen, how much do I love TIFF? Well, I'm a man who ran for mayor of Toronto on the basis of getting traffic moving, and for me to support, to not only go along with, but to ardently, enthusiastically support, sponsor, and get behind the closure of King Street during rush hour on a weekday, that is how much I love TIFF. Now, I look at this fabulous Canadian lineup that we're here to celebrate today, and I sort of feel, beyond it being a celebration of Canadian talent and Canadian storytelling, that it maybe chronicles a bit of the part of the life that I now lead. I mean, I look at Hellions and I say to myself, well, surely that must be about the Toronto City Council. How heavy is this hammer? Well, this is the gavel, of course, that you try and wield at the City Council, and then there's Born to be Blue, which describes about how I feel after 7 months on the job. But, you know, these are great stories, put to a film by Canadians, some of them now even set in Toronto, where they're joining this great trend towards actually allowing Toronto to be Toronto in movies. What a concept that is. But I just want to say I have two messages to convey here today. Number one, that I just want to say how much I appreciate it. It's a privilege for me to be able to stand here, because I've been a supporter of TIFF for a long time. But to be able to stand here as the mayor of the city and say how important this is as one of the truly global attractions that puts the city on the map, that brings the city to life. And we've seen that again with the Pan Am Games. We see it with pride. But there are, too few of these kinds of events that really speak to, what the city can do and what the city is all about and what an exciting place that it is. And I'm very proud of the city in that regard, but of course I wouldn't have the opportunity to be proud as the mayor or just as a Torontonian if it wasn't for the excellence of TIFF. The second thing I want to do is just say how important I believe the Canadian aspect of TIFF is, the showcasing of Canadian film. 31 features, I know, last year. We're going to hear more about how many this year. 46 Canadian and co-produced shorts. 340,000 people, thanks to the Film Circuit program, that have a chance to see Canadian films in different parts of the country, thanks to the existence of this organization. And so I can't underestimate the degree to which this festival has a huge impact on our economy, on our identity, and on a whole lot of other things, but of course also the health and vitality of our artistic community, our creative community, which is so important to every aspect of life in this city. And the last thing I want to say is this, that I think when you have a chance to expose Canadian films, you have a chance to expose Canadian storytelling, but you're also having a chance to expose a bit of the heart and soul of this country. And I think this country and this city within it are just such special places that have their own very unique and admirable set of values. We're not perfect, but I think we have an example that we do set for a lot of the world. And through film and other forms of creative expression, this is where we can have a little bit of our heart and a little bit of our soul exposed, not just to Canadians who should be reminded of it, but also to people from around the rest of the world. And so for that reason, we at the City Council, and I'm here today speaking on behalf of my colleagues at City Council and all the people of Toronto, to say, let's have a fabulous festival. Let's enjoy the 40th Anniversary Festival. Congratulations to everybody involved with TIFF. Most particularly, I'll single out Pierce and Cameron and Michelle, because every great organization has great leadership. And I'm just looking forward to celebrating TIFF again this year, and especially to seeing the great works of some of our great Canadian artists. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor Tory. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come and join us, and we hope that you'll join us also on Festival Street. At the beginning of the festival, sit on one of our orange picnic tables and enjoy the festivities. It should be a blast. In addition to all the great films we've shared earlier today, we want to also let you know about some of the industry initiatives that will be happening during the festival. These programs aim to connect and inspire new and seasoned industry professionals on topics ranging from financing to co-producing, marketing, distribution, and the future of cinema, all the things that actually get the movies made. That's what we'll be doing at our industry conference.
We're absolutely delighted to announce the return of Talent Lab, an artistic development program that provides emerging talent with an opportunity to learn from leading influencers in the film industry. Led by revered governors, participants from all over the world will be immersed in artistic mentorship and professional development opportunities to interact with and learn from internationally acclaimed filmmakers. This year's governors include filmmaker Wim Wenders and producer Jim Stark. Talent Lab is made possible through our longtime partner and presenting sponsor RBC and through the generous support of Telefilm Canada and the Slate Family Foundation.
We're also proud to announce the return of TIFF Rising Stars. This is a talent development program which celebrates its 5th year here at the festival, and we spotlight Canadian acting talent who are preparing to join the next generation making big waves on the global stage. I'm pleased to announce this year's TIFF Rising Stars. If you are in the room, and I see some of you here, please stand and give us a wave as your name is called. Dara Campbell. Up you go. Stefan James. Alyosha Schneider. And Karel Tremblay. Congratulations to all 4 of you. Congratulations to our 4 rising stars. Take note of these people's names because you will definitely be hearing more about them in the future. Past rising stars include people like Tatiana Maslany and Sarah Gadden. You will be hearing a lot more from these 4 young actors. The Rising Stars program is made possible by the generous support of presenting partner, the Brian Linehan Charitable Foundation, and supporter, Telefilm Canada, as well as sponsors L'Oreal Paris, Burke's, the Casting Society of America, and outfitting by Top Shop Top Man at Hudson's Bay.
We're absolutely honored and delighted to have the most passionate and dedicated team who work to program the Canadian selection at the festival. They work endless hours sitting in dark rooms. Feature film programmers Steve Gravestock and Magali Simar, and Shortcuts programmers Jason Anderson, Dennis Goulet, Catherine McGuinness, and Shane Smith. Jason, Dennis, and Shane, I think you are all here. If you could just kind of wave, they're over here. What a phenomenal job. These people are dedicated beyond belief. They give up their summer hours. They spend them in, as I said, cinemas that don't really see the light of day. We're just like little moles. But it's a great job, and they do a fabulous one. So I'd now like to welcome, without further ado, Steve and Magali to the stage, who will tell us more about the selection.
Hello, everybody. Happy TIFF 40. Thank you, Piers and Camion. You don't look a day over 39, both of you. It's been an absolutely wonderful year for Canadian filmmaking, and we're delighted to present this selection to festival audiences and to all of you. We believe in the quality of homegrown Canadian cinema, and across both the features and the Shortcuts program, this year's lineup is truly one of the strongest and most thought-provoking.
We're fortunate to be presenting 3 awards for Canadian films at the festival. They are the Canada Goose Award for Best Canadian Feature Film, which carries a cash prize of $30,000. The City of Toronto Award for Best Canadian First Feature Film, which carries a cash prize of $15,000. And the Shortcuts Award for Best Canadian Short Film, which offers a $10,000 cash prize.
And we have 2 dedicated juries who are entrusted with the very challenging task of selecting the winners. This year's esteemed feature film jury consists of Jacqueline Lianga, director of AFI, Don McKellar, filmmaker, actor, and all-around totally cool guy, Hilda Santiago, the director of the Rio de Janeiro Film Festivals, and it's one festival. She doesn't get more than one. Members of the Shortcuts jury are John Anderson, a film writer, Pascal Fauré from Canal Plus, and actor Rizwan Manji.
We're thrilled today to welcome an icon of Canadian filmmaking. She's the only filmmaker to open TIFF and TIFF Kids. She is a pillar of the Toronto New Wave. Her film, I've Heard the Mermaid Singing, is a central Canadian work. She made the best darn Jane Austen adaptation I ever saw, Mansfield Park. And her latest film, Into the Forest, is a must-see. We're very excited to screen it at this year's edition of the festival. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the one and only Patricia Rozema.
I cannot tell you how excited I am to show you my new film. It's been a very long time since I've shown a film at TIFF. I asked Magali who was going to be speaking, and she said there's going to be two filmmakers, an emerging filmmaker and you. And I thought, oh, you mean an emerging filmmaker and a re-emerging filmmaker? But that's my... Anyway, it does not get old. I think actually after you've been around a little while, you see how things change and you see how things are not permanent, and this unbelievable, I see so many faces here. You see how lucky we are to have a moment in time where we have an international audience, a Canadian audience, a hometown audience, family and friends all in one room, in one dark space, with one beautiful screen and beautiful sound, and all experiencing the same thing. This might be a temporary luxury, and I thank you guys so much for making that possible for us, for all of us, for all the filmmakers here. You get it. You know what I'm talking about. Cameron, Piers, you have built the best film festival in the world. There is a little European thing that's nipping at your heels. Ignore them, ignore them. I'm putting my money on the new world. And it is not nothing. You know, Magali and Steve and Michelle, it's not nothing to be chosen to show your work by people who have possibly the most refined and educated taste in film. See, they agree. I call her Magalissimo. What do you think? It's like she's going with it. Anyway, it's also the most significant cultural event, I think, in our country. And I think if in 100 years or 200 years, if they look back at this moment in Canada, they will not be looking back at our and poring lovingly over our balance sheets. They will be looking at our music and our architecture and our film. So I thank you for letting us have that moment. Anyway, 2 minutes about, or 2 seconds maybe, about Into the Forest. It's so new. That's all we have. We don't have a clip. We don't have I don't even know quite how to describe it yet, but it is, all I can say is Saturday night, Winter Garden, 8:30, please come. And Ellen Page and Evan Rachel Wood, and I thank Ellen for getting this ball rolling. She's the producer on it, and I have many, many more people to thank, but that's all I'll say for now. Anyway, see you at the movies. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Steve and I were impressed by the quality of features from first-time filmmakers. The future of cinema is in very, very good hands when we look at the talent that we saw this year. We'd like to welcome one of these filmmakers to the stage, Andrew Cividino, whose shorts we've played in the past years and who will be presenting his absolutely incredible debut feature, Sleeping Giant, at this year's festival. Before we do that, let's look at the clip and then welcome Andrew Cividino.
What's this place called again?
This is Caribou Island.
How many people live on it?
Uninhabited.
Oh, nice. It's like Jurassic Park or something.
They filmed it here.
Really?
No. This right here is Todd's Cliff.
How high are those cliffs?
They're over 100 feet.
Can you jump them?
You win a Darwin Award, first prize if you do. Riley, you want to drive?
Sure.
Come on up here. Just steer it straight.
Okay. Is this place really inhabited?
Uninhabited.
Uninhabited. Whoa. Look at that.
The really cool thing, it's all green, but there's so many variations of green.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's totally different from when I was young.
Yeah, I guess when you were young, dinosaurs were still roaming the land, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad, did you cry when the dinosaurs died?
You didn't cry when the dinosaurs died?
Whoa.
Please welcome Andrew Cividino.
Thank you very much. It's a bit surreal to be here because a year ago today we were filming Sleeping Giant up near Thunder Bay, Ontario, in this really remote community. And I looked at the calendar as I was kind of preparing what I was going to say today, and it was a year ago today. We were out actually on that remote island. It was a huge storm was rolling in, and we were being dive bombed by seagulls, and we couldn't get our motor started on the way home. And I thought, like, you know, this like week 2 of production, and I'm thinking there's no way my film is ever going to get made. There's no time or space or room when you're making your film to possibly think that a year later you'd be standing in this room and knowing that your film is going to be playing at TIFF. But TIFF has been really in the DNA of this film from the beginning. This is a festival that has been so supportive of my work and my community of emerging filmmakers. Sleeping Giant started as a short film. We'd finished that last year, and it played at the festival. Getting that film into the festival gave us a platform to get the attention that we needed, to get the finishing funding that we received from Telefilm to get the film completed. It gave us the confidence, being able to sit in an audience and share it and watch people actually laugh and be along for the ride with you. It gave us the confidence in post when we were working on the film to really take risks and to push it and to just trust our instincts. So it's just been like a great ride through the short and into the feature, and it feels like a real, I guess, a homecoming in a way to be able to come back and bring the film back to a Toronto audience and premiere the film here. The festival, I got to participate in Talent Lab, and my producer Karen was a member of the studio group, and so we were able to take those experiences and what we learned from the master classes and everything else we were able to participate in and bring that all like with us when we were making the film. So I really feel wherever the film has been and wherever it goes, this festival is really a part of it, and I'm just so grateful that I'll be able to bring it and share it with an audience here. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Patricia. That was beautifully said. I just want to take a moment, because we're about 35 days out from the festival, and just to ask all of us here, and all of us who will attend, to, when the festival comes, take care of our filmmakers. There are directors, our writers, our actors. These are your artists, and in the middle of everything else that's going on, When the entire film world's attention is on Toronto, it's, I think, most important that we take care of our own artists because they help explain who we are and what we're about. So thank you to all Canadian filmmakers. We can't wait. We can't wait to kick this off in just 35 days.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cam. I think for me personally, it's been so extraordinary to stand in this room year after year and welcome new waves and new generations of young Canadian filmmakers to the festival. So all these kind words that were said by Andrew and by Patricia, by everybody else, thank you so much. And we look forward to another fabulous year of launching Canadian talent, which I really do believe is second to none in the world. And when we're actually out there on the international stage, we can compete with everyone. Our films may be somewhat different, but I love the fact that they're unique that way, and they challenge all of us to respond, I think, to their uniqueness. So I, in particular, look forward to this 40th group of films. So we all look forward to seeing you, all of you, on September the 10th, which is the opening night of the 40th festival. We'll have a whole bunch of special things on that night. So thank you all for coming. We have a tradition of actually a class photo of all the filmmakers and producers, et cetera, who are in the room with films this year. So that will actually happen at the end of the event. So please don't leave the room, all the filmmakers. We're going to do a few interviews, et cetera. Thank you all for coming, a remarkable event, and we'll see you in, 33 days, I think you said, Cam? 37 days. Thank you so much.